Hello everyone, what is up? What is going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading, and this one is focused on the topic of your hidden gifts. So we are going to dive in and find out what your hidden gifts may be, and we're going to try to get as much detail as possible. So if you are new to these videos, I'm going to give you a quick little intro about how they work. So we have 4 different groups in front of me. We have pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can take a moment, pause the video if you'd like, in order to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box, and then you will find a timestamp that'll be linked to your specific card so that you can skip ahead right to your personal reading all about your hidden gifts. If you like to choose with crystals on these cards, then let's go ahead and put some crystals on these cards. All right, my loves, if you'd like to choose with crystals, here are our crystal options. Over on group number 1, we have some aventurine. Then on group number 2, we have some rose quartz. Then over on group number 3, we have some charoite. And then over on group number 4, we have some sunset aura quartz. So again, take a moment, pause the video if you would like, in order to find the pile that you are the most called towards. And then you can scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that is going to be linked to your specific card so that you can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about your hidden gifts and talents. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. All right, so group number 1, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be a reading, so let's get right into it. Okay, group 1. My goodness. Okay, we have the 8 of Wands, the Empress, the High Priestess, and then the 8 of Pentacles. So we have 2 different 8s and 2 major arcana cards. So 8s deal with good luck. So one thing that I'm sort of seeing is in your life, you actually have a gift of good luck and of good fortune. Even if that doesn't make sense to you, in your life, when it comes to kind of manifesting things or when it comes to your ability to execute something, you actually have a huge gift on being able to see exactly how to do that and to be able to know exactly what action steps that you need to take. The wands kind of symbolize the action, and then the pentacles symbolize the materialization of something. So you're very much able to see what actions you need to take. When it comes to actually doing, that may be a whole different story, but when it comes to visualizing and sort of seeing and knowing exactly what you need to do, you know how to do that. And also, I'm really seeing that once you get started on something, you are unstoppable. Okay, once you actually see exactly what it is that you need to do, you have a very unstoppable work ethic and the ability to push through on major projects very well. One thing I'm sort of seeing is you're also really fast at things, and sometimes when people are very fast at stuff, they can tend to procrastinate a little bit just because they tend to be very fast. I also believe that there's times where you don't procrastinate, and it's usually when you're in a really good flow and you know exactly what you need to do, and maybe your schedule is just really open. I really feel like you probably don't procrastinate in those particular circumstances, but you do have the ability to procrastinate and still finish projects when they need to be finished, because you do have incredible work ethic and incredible vision. Your ability to envision stuff and see exactly what you need to do with ultimate clarity is a huge gift and a huge advantage that you have over other people. I feel like when you give somebody else, like say you were 2 people in a room and you know the person that you were around was very different from you. If you were given the same task, you would be able to visualize it in such a way and have such a knowing about what you need to do in order to get the end result that you are thinking about, that I feel like you would be the first one done, even if you started kind of late on it. I feel like you just have incredible vision, and you're a natural born leader, but I feel like you don't necessarily go out of your way to step into a leader position very often, because I feel like you're very good being solo. The High Priestess is very independent, and she usually kind of keeps to herself. And so when this comes up as one of your gifts, you are very independent. You're very good at keeping to yourself, and you're also very good at like not needing help from anybody, but you also are like a very caring and generous person. But you're somebody who's like really good at kind of doing things on your own. And again, it's because you're an incredible visionary. So you would probably be somebody who's really good at being a business owner, especially since we also have that Eight of Pentacles here. You would probably be somebody who's really good at being their own business owner or working independently in a job where you get a lot of independence. You're really good at that. You don't need somebody to tell you what to do, because for you, you have like this incredible clarity. And for you, if somebody's telling you what to do, you might be thinking like, I can see a bigger vision than even that, so I don't need to be told what to do. You're just really good at that. Incredible work ethic, and very independent. You also have some deeper psychic abilities, and I believe that's also one of the reasons why you are really good at being a visionary. You're really good at making things come to life. I'm getting like an artsy sort of thing while I'm seeing this as well. And artsy could just be that you have an incredible ability to envision things, but I'm also getting some sort of other like artsy kind of stuff. Like you're really good at seeing like colors and how they work well together and all these different things. And your imagination, I think, is really expanded. You have a very expanded imagination, and you're really good at imagining things. Probably when you were a kid, you were also really into like playing pretend, if that makes sense. And even as an adult, you're really good at that. But that's also, as an adult, that's one of your gifts, because as a kid, I think you developed that so much to where now it really benefits you in being very independent and visualizing things and knowing exactly what you need to do. So I'm definitely seeing that here. The Empress is also incredibly creative. So tons of like creative cards that we have over here, but the Empress is also very empathic, especially when she shows up right next to the High Priestess. You are very good at reading the emotions in other people, and usually highly creative people are really good at that anyway. And all of us have a degree of psychic ability. Some of us are more developed than others, depending on how often we utilize that muscle. For you, I'm seeing that you have a very developed intuition because you tend to use it a lot. You tend to feel around empathically towards others, and that way you know how to interact with them. So another one of your gifts is being able to read a room really well, and also being able to read people very well. When it comes to their body language or subtle kind of things within their voice, or even if you're not even talking to them, you can almost feel their energy and sort of see how they're feeling in the moment. So if you walked into a party and let's say that, you know, there's 3 different people that aren't even like saying anything in the party, they don't have much body language to read, you'd be able to tell the differences in the emotions of those people without even needing to interact with them, if that makes sense. So that is also another one of your abilities. It's like you can really read a person very well. And I think it's because you are a really deep thinker, and you notice subtle things more than most people do. And it makes you very highly intelligent, to say the least. You also have an ability to really connect deeply with people because of this ability. But you're also really good at being solo. Like, I notice a lot of empathic people are really good at being solo and being introverted, but you're a really interesting case because we also have this Eight of Wands here. The Eight of Wands and the High Priestess and also the Empress here, these kind of correlate to being more like introverted, but also knowing very well how to be extroverted when you need to be. I feel like most of the time you are introverted, just because we have more cards that kind of show a little bit more independence here. But the Eight of Wands is really kind of almost telling me that you're also pretty dang good at communicating. And I think it's because you're really good at reading people. So you're like an introvert who's also really good at communicating. You're not just like a totally, completely shy, closed off introvert. I'm really seeing a good balance in you to where if like somebody brought you to a party, you don't necessarily need to stand in the corner of the room. You don't need to like close yourself off from that. I feel like you kind of enjoy the balance of like socializing while also having your time alone. Like you're really good in both environments is what I'm feeling. You're really good kind of transforming and fitting into any environment is what I'm feeling here. And I think it's because you're just, highly aware, but also highly intelligent. And yeah, the communication, you actually have really good communication skills. And I think that those are kind of unlocking more and more as you age and as you get older. I feel like those are just kind of like unlocking even more your communication skills. So we are also going to shuffle some more cards onto here and see what else we get. I also feel like you're really good at seeing solutions to problems, just since we have these arrows and they're kind of like going through these clouds over here. I'm really feeling that that's sort of like piercing through any issues, any clouds that are in the way. You're really good at seeing how to get over those things. We also have rebirth. So this card deals with transformations and change. You're somebody who's very adaptable. Whenever we have rebirth come up, one of your gifts is also being very adaptable. And I feel like you're also somebody who does go through a lot of change. You're that type of person that is good at reinventing themselves. You're really good at kind of, fitting into any environment and kind of making a new you when you need to. We also have generosity. One thing that I'm also, before getting into this card, one thing that I'm also feeling about this rebirth card is you're interested in a lot of different things. Like you're like a puzzle piece that could fit almost anywhere, because you're really good at sort of seeing who you need to be for particular situations and for particular things. And you're really good at just kind of like forming into that. So if you started a new job tomorrow and it was completely something brand new that you've never done before, I feel like you're so good at just like learning very quickly. And you're almost the type of person who's really good at learning on their own. Like you don't almost need a teacher. You're really good at, like, if somebody gave you a book and they're just like, figure it out, you'd be like, all right, let's do it. And even if you didn't have like the instruction manual, I honestly feel like you're the type of person that if you need to build something, you oftentimes don't need to look at an instruction manual, because you're very good at kind of piecing things together. Really good at piecing things together. This generosity card is also really connected to this Empress energy. Because of that empathic nature that you have towards others, I'm seeing that you have such a gift of like having a really beautiful balance between yourself and others when it comes to how you respect yourself and how you respect others. I think that this is something that's going to even develop more as you get older, because I'm seeing maybe when you were a kid you were a little bit more shy, but you have this really generous nature. And as you get older and as you kind of more come out of your shell, this generous nature is kind of growing with that. I'm seeing that you also have a gift for being able to not necessarily put others before you, because I feel like you also have a very independent nature where you know how to put yourself first too when you need to, but there's just this energy of this beautiful balance between putting yourself first so that you know that you're full, but then also being very generous. You're able to almost overflow your cup. Like you really know what it is that you need. A lot of the times you're really good at being aware of that. And you're really good at kind of like making an abundant amount of energy to where you're able to really give a lot to other people. Honestly, people see you as a giver, and people might even ask you at times like, how do you have time for that? How do you have time for this and this and this and this and this? But I think it's because you're really self-aware and you're really in tune with your own emotions most of the time. So you're really able to see like, what is it that I need in this moment? Then you're really good at filling up your own cup and then over pouring that to other people. That is one of your gifts. And we all have like ups and downs in life, so you may not be this way all the time, like not 100% of the time, because we all have our ups and downs, right? But one of your gifts is being so self-attuned to where you're really able to fill up your cup and enjoy the simple pleasures in life, and then have a lot of extra to give to others. You're really good at accumulating a lot of that extra energy to give more. So that is another aspect that we have over here. So let's go ahead and get some more cards again. So group one, let's see. We have true love, come to me. You are really good at knowing Like you're really good at loving. One of your gifts is literally the ability to love very deeply. The Empress, along with this true love card, I think that one of your gifts is actually being very romantic, very in tune with your emotions, and very loving. We also have imagination coming out as well. Again, that creativity is here. You're also really good at manifesting what it is that you imagine. One of the things that I think you're going to notice throughout your life is that whenever you imagine certain things, they tend to happen, especially if you imagine them a lot. The things that you focus on the most and the things that you really put a lot of imagination and energy into, they seem to manifest. And the people that are also really, really good at manifesting are the ones that are really good with their imagination. Because we usually have to sort of play pretend and kind of become and be a new persona in order to manifest certain things. So if we are going to be somebody who owns $1 million house, we need to become that energy first in order to even perceive of the actions that we need to take in order to get us to that level, right? So for you, you're really good at imagining, playing pretend, putting yourself in a new energy. And because of that, you're going to be really good at manifesting a lot of things. Okay, so that is another aspect that we have over here. I also want to take out these cards next, but they're still in their box. So also I get a lot of questions about these cards. These ones are like the gold, I don't know, gold cards, and they're the Threads of Fate Oracle. Just so you guys know, there's people ask me about them all the time, where I get these ones from, and I'm really bad at listing cards in the description box because I forget their names all the time, and sometimes I'm too lazy to go back and find the box and write it down in the description box of the video. But we're working on that. I think eventually I will get to the point of being able to do that, but yeah. Most of the time I'm just like, let's get this video out, you know? So let's see what else we get for my beautiful group ones. All about your hidden gifts of who you are. I'm also getting with the High Priestess, one of your hidden gifts is actually, you have ancient gifts from your past lives. So naturally, you are going to be really good at doing certain things and you won't even know why. Like you just tune into things really quickly. You're an old soul and you've brought gifts with you from your past life. So you've brought certain talents that you've made, that you've had to work on, that you've had to create for yourself in previous lifetimes. And those are going to be something that almost, when you encounter it in this lifetime, it's like you're a natural at it. You know, when you just like bring somebody to a new thing, like let's say you bring somebody to golf and they've never golfed before, but then all of a sudden they're so good at it. And you're like, how did you, like what? And they're just like, I don't know, I've never played before. And you're like, are you sure you've never played before? Cause like what? And then, you know, you're just like dumbfounded about like, how are they so good at that? I suck at golf, by the way, so I don't know where that example came from. But the High Priestess, this is really letting me know that you have taken certain things from previous lifetimes that are actually still like within your DNA. They're like talents within your DNA that are just like waiting there. And all of a sudden when you try something, there's going to be those certain things that you're naturally just really good at picking up on them. And that's a sign that that's something that you used to do in a past life. It's like ancient wisdom from previous lifetimes. And I really think that you're really good at piecing together certain knowledge, especially when it comes to like human behavior and psychology. And I think you're also taking that from previous lifetimes because you've had so many lifetimes already. Imagine if you're a person that's lived like 10,000 years, right? Your ability to read people and to understand people is going to be huge compared to people who've only lived for 50 years, right? So it's almost like you have taken this knowledge from previous lifetimes, and all of us have past lives, right? But some of us are we take a little bit more of that information with us in the next life, depending on the life that we're trying to live in that next life. And for you, you've taken a lot of that, and a lot of it's actually still dormant within you. You realize some of it thus far in your life, but there's more to uncover there. There's a lot more wisdom and like hidden gifts from previous lifetimes that are that's still like dormant. Oh my goodness. And then look at this card that we have coming out. We have the Ancestors card. So that one right there confirms exactly what I was just saying. So when we're talking about your roots, your ancestry, your ancient sort of hidden wisdom in your DNA, this card particularly talks about that. So you've really, you've taken, and you are sort of like an accumulation of your past lives, and there's going to be definitely those certain things in this lifetime that just seem to come naturally to you. And you learn them really quickly, to the point where people are like, are you sure you've never done that before? Because it seems like you've done that before. So yes, and this blue is really sticking out to me right here. Some of you actually have a hidden talent to see auras, whether you know that or not. I think there's a hidden talent there to kind of see auras, or at least be able to really read the energy of certain things. So that's very interesting. Let's see what else we get. Okay, there's one that just fell on the floor. I feel like that always happens every time I do these videos. So we have the Reclaim card. That, I believe, is the reclaiming talents from your past lives. Also, it's interesting that it's a cat right here, and cats are known to have like 9 lives, right? So you have a lot of lives under your belt of previous lifetimes that you've already accumulated tons of knowledge, and it's like you're reclaiming it this lifetime from your roots, from your ancestry. Also, I am getting that this is so random. I feel like part of your ancestry or past lives was someone, like it goes back to like something that was important in some way. I don't really know what I'm getting right now. We're probably gonna maybe not get into that one, but there's something along your ancestry or roots that was somehow significant. But I feel like it's very different for all of you that are watching this. But for those of you that are watching this, there is something kind of significant in your bloodline or in your ancestry. But yeah, I don't want to get too specific with that, just because this is more of a general reading because we're online. But yes, there is something there. But yeah, let's see what else we get for my group ones. Let's see, we also have sacred sexuality coming up here. This is bringing me back to the romance kind of energy. Very creative, very imaginative. You have like an imagination for romantic things. I feel like you would be really good at like writing romance novels. You would be really good at thinking about what would be the most beautiful thing to do for somebody else. You're really good at kind of thinking of those things, and I think you're really in tune with your romantic, sexual, creative energy, because sexual energy is also our creative energy. We literally use our sexual energy to create life, and that's what the Empress also talks about. So the fact that we have sacred sexuality, true love, and the Empress here, you also have a natural talent of nurturing things to life. And we also have the Ankh right here, which is the ancient Egyptian symbol for giving life. And since we have all of these that are talking about giving life to something, you are really good at taking a vision and bringing it to life. I also think that you may, it may be part of your life purpose to have children this lifetime for some of you, or at least birth something really significant, which could be like a certain business, an invention, an idea, or something along the lines of that. But for a lot of you, I think kids are going to be part of your destiny. And I also think somehow adding more love and romance and beautifying the world. A lot of you may have an eye for beauty, and you're able to see beauty really well. You're able to see what is beautiful, what catches people's eyes, what catches people's attention. You're really good at seeing that. And that is part of your gift, because you're meant to kind of add more of that to the world. And you're also meant to add more like romance. I feel like when people have you in their life, they kind of just feel more happy, because you're really good at bringing out more romantic energy. Like even when it comes to just like platonic friends, You're really good at kind of beautifying things, doing things that are really beautiful, that are visual, that are ambient, like ambience. You bring like an ambience to the world. That's really beautiful, and people are really drawn to you because of that. And I think that you have a natural talent of like beautifying things. And ooh, okay, I'm getting a message, a very particular message. Some of you are really insecure about your looks. You should not be though, because I'm getting a very, very beautiful energy from you, like even physically, a very beautiful energy where people look at you and they find you very beautiful. You naturally have an energy of beautifying things. You're like a flower, okay? So whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. You're like a beautiful flower that I feel like people are very drawn to physically and energetically. But I feel like some of you may have been hard on yourselves at some point in your life, maybe even to the current day, with your looks. But just so you know, other people don't perceive you that way. One of your gifts is literally this like beautiful flower, this really beautiful, people are very drawn to you. Again, physically and energetically. Even if you don't feel that, some of you are also really into beautifying yourself, taking care of yourself, doing things like whether that be working out to make yourself look really good, or whether that be doing something with your hair, your clothing, like all sorts of things, you know, all the aesthetic things that we can do for ourselves. People are very drawn to you, just so you know. You have an eye for this, which makes you like really into maybe kind of working on yourself in this way. But even if you don't, there's a very naturally like aesthetic, ambient energy about you. People are very drawn to you. It's very ambient, and they really like being around you. And it's, I think you get a lot of people that will end up staring at you, and you'll be like, why are they staring at me? And it's because you have this ambient energy. Like, you know when you see a really beautiful flower and you're like, oh my God, I just want to stare at that. People do that to you. And if you notice that people kind of like stare at you when you're in public and you're like, why are they staring at me? That would be why, okay? So that is what we have over here. And some of you I know are like, this does not happen to me, this does not resonate. And this is just your own criticism of not seeing your own ambience. A lot of the times flowers are unaware of their beauty, right? So, but they bloom regardless. So you are a bloomed flower regardless if you are able to truly see that within yourself or not. But anyway, that is besides the point. Let's go see what else Spirit has to say. These are just little messages from Spirit. And I think I also want to take out the Astro Dice before we completely end this reading. But let's see, we have patience. So some of you also have a gift of patience. That one's very self-explanatory. Everything can be accomplished at nature's pace. So some of you may feel oddly slow at things, which actually makes you fast at things. It's a really interesting paradox. You think very quickly, and you are very intelligent. So when you go out and do something, for you it may feel really slow. For other people, they're like, oh my God, they're accomplishing so much. How do they even do that? But for you, because you think very fast, sometimes you have a tendency to think that you're slow. But other people don't see it that way. But you do have a good quality of patience as well. But I feel like sometimes you are impatient with yourself. You're very patient when it comes to other people, but I feel like sometimes you're impatient when it comes to yourself. We also have the card here of caution. Tread softly so as not to disturb the woodland floor. A lot of you are really good at reading things and not stepping on people's toes, not being like a loud, uncontrollable ruckus. I think a lot of you are very much in control of yourselves, your emotions, and you're really good at controlling your emotions, to say the least. Even if you don't feel like you are much more advanced than most people your age at controlling your emotions and being able to, show peace and be mellow when you need to be. We also have origins. This says, remember your roots. And we literally have the ancestors, which was about the roots. And I was feeling that with that High Priestess card too. Oh my goodness. Like, your ancestry is significant. I was totally feeling that, and we have confirmation here again. So one of your gifts this lifetime is your ancestry is very significant. Your past lives are very significant, even in this life. So very, very interesting. Whew. Okay, let's get our Astro Dice and let's see if we can get any last info on this reading for you. So we have Pluto in Gemini. Ooh, that's interesting. And then what do we have over here? The 7th house. Ooh. So Pluto in Gemini in the 7th. you are really good at transforming when you need to. It's kind of like this rebirth that's very similar to the Plutonic energy. And Gemini is really good at transitioning, changes, going along with, anything that we need to adapt to. You are really good at that. And I think that you have a gift for helping other people adapt as well. A lot of you may end up working in a field where you help other people transform. So some of you may end up becoming psychologists, motivational speakers, healers, something where you are helping other people transform and you're helping other people go through a rebirth and helping other people maybe even reinvent themselves, or offering like inspiration to other people, helping them see their goodness in some kind of way, helping them see their abilities. So some of you may end up working in a field like that because you do have a natural ability for that. So I feel like a lot of you, your purpose is going to end up kind of being something along the lines of that, since we have Pluto, Gemini, 7th house stuff coming up there. But yes, also this indicates a significant relationship as well. So some of you, there's a very significant relationship for you this lifetime. That's just like a side message that doesn't have to deal with your talents, but just a random side message I was getting there. Very significant, like meeting your twin flame soulmate this lifetime is also correlated to that. So that was just another random side message I was getting there. But anyway, that is your reading all about your hidden gifts, talents, abilities, all of that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there, and hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 2, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's get right into it. All right, group 2, let's get into it. We have the Queen of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, and then the 7 of Pentacles. So one of the things that I am noticing right off the bat, the fact that we have Queen of Swords and 9 of Swords right here, this lets me know that early on in life, you've had to go through a lot. You've had to kind of deal with a lot. But it was actually one of your gifts, because of that, you have become very strong and very mature at a really young age. And this, you've also gained a talent from this. And this talent is healing and helping other people. You have a natural ability to heal and help others because you've had to heal and help yourself, and you've had to become very mature at a young age. I think that honestly, for a lot of you, you seem older than you are personality-wise, not looks-wise or anything like that, but like personality-wise, you are more wise beyond your years. You've had to deal with so much at a young age that you are incredibly intelligent and incredibly smart. When other people meet you, I feel like honestly, when it comes to you hanging out with people that are your age, you don't always feel like you relate to them just because you've been through so much, but I also think that you're really good at helping them. You're really good at helping them. So I do feel like, even if you do have friends that are your age, you still enjoy hanging out with them. But I feel like a lot of the times you're the advice giver. You're the person that's telling them like, hey, you should be doing this, you should do this, you should do that, so that you can get over this, and blah, 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 and this is why you're going through what you're going through. You're really good at seeing these things because you've already dealt with them. So the normal things that people are going through at your age, for you, you're like, I've already dealt with that. I've dealt with that a long time ago. And you've had to overcome that. And it has brought you a lot of wisdom and a lot of intelligence. You are a very wise and smart person because of that. You are also really good at knowing if somebody is lying to you or not. The Queen of Swords is also somebody who's very intelligent and very perceptive. You are incredibly perceptive, and you know how to like cut through people's BS. And I think it's also because you've had to deal with a lot at a young age and you've matured a lot. And so when people are telling you certain things, you know whether or not that they're being honest with you. You are really good at cutting through that and knowing and seeing honesty right through people. People cannot play you because you know. And yeah, you don't let those things slide. You very much note them and you're like, okay, noted, dearly noted that this person, is trying to pull a fast one on me. You're so sensitive and so aware to those subtle things that most people it would go undetected. Like you're like a human lie detector. You can tell when somebody is, giving it to you straight or not. So honesty to you, I think, is a really big thing. And I think it's such a big thing for you because you're so good at detecting when people are not honest. So for you, it's a really big thing because you've had to probably see it quite a bit in your lifetime. So that is one of your hidden gifts, is really being able to see that and know that. But then also you're so good at giving advice to people. If people tell you a story about what they're going through, it's almost like you can see exactly how that's going to play out. And I think a lot of the times, like most of the time, like 99% of the time, you are correct at your predictions of how things are going to turn out, because it's almost like somebody could tell you a story about their life, about what they're going through. And because you've had a lot of experience so far, and because you're really good at perceiving other people and being able to take in a lot of information through that, you're really good at knowing exactly where things are heading. When people tell you certain stuff, you're like, yeah, I know that that's not gonna work out. Or, yeah, I know that that's gonna work out this time because finally they're on the right path. You're really good at detecting those things because you're really good at reading into it and you're really good at observing. I think you're a really good people watcher and people observer, and you are really interested in observing people and their actions and their reactions to the point where you're really now good at reading people and understanding, the natural occurrences that would happen then on after. You're really good at seeing that, okay? The Nine of Swords, that was the card that kind of let me know that you've already been through a lot, and because of that, you're really good at, again, reading people and all that, and being more mature for your age. I think that this card also tells me that you're really good at human psychology, but more of like the logical side of things. Like rather than being super empathic, you are more detective perception type of thing, where you can notice the subtle nuances in somebody's voice, the particular words and the tone that they use, the storylines that people have. Like you're a really good problem solver, but it's more on the logical side rather than the emotional, empathic side. Although you may have a mix of both, but I would say your strongest part is within communication and within sort of problem solving and seeing logical things within stuff. We also have that Three of Pentacles card. So this one lets me know that you're really good at problem solving again. You're really good at observing where certain issues are and where certain things aren't going to work out. I also think that you're really good when it comes to like maybe even technology. Some of you, I'm getting like technology, you're really good at figuring out and seeing where certain things are going wrong. And to you, there's certain stuff that's so obvious to you that I feel like you almost look at the average person and you're like, how do they not know this? It blows my mind. And I feel like that might be something that you often feel, because for you, there's certain things that are so obvious. But one thing that I think you have to understand is you're somebody who has been through more experiences than most people have in your age. Also, you have a unique gift for observing things and seeing them in their logical flow. So versus somebody who is more of like an emotional observer, when it comes to logical problems, they may not see what you see because they're an emotional observer. They see the emotional side of things. So when it comes to figuring out technology or figuring out like a puzzle or figuring out like something that's broken or something that's off, they may have a harder time solving those issues because, again, they observe emotionally. You observe a lot logically. And so when you see stuff, you're like, I see exactly what the problem is. Like, how are you not seeing this? So that is one of your gifts, is being able to see the world in that logical way. You're really good at this. And so I feel like a lot of you would excel in careers that use a lot of logic. You would excel in careers that use a lot of communication and figuring out. You would honestly be a really good leader when it comes to a team and being able to tell them like, this is what we need to do, this is that. Like, you're really good at that. But it would work best in situations that use a lot of logic rather than a lot of emotion. Although I feel like you also have that side, but again, your strongest side is more of the logical, figuring stuff out, analytical, perception kind of stuff. So that is definitely a huge, huge gift that you have. And I feel like not a lot of people have that. You know, I feel like it's a good probably half and half, where some people are emotional and some people are logical. But for you, it really, you take it up a notch because you've been through so much in your life. And so your perception is like, people really rely on you. And also I feel like a lot of people come to you when they need honesty, because I think you're somebody who really has learned to respect honesty in your life. You have learned the consequences of dishonesty. I think that you've learned them early on in your life. And I think a lot of people trust you because of that, because they know that they're going to get like the real ish when they're around you, because they know that you're not going to necessarily BS them. You're really good with your words and telling people how it is, but I think you're also really good with your words to the point where you know that you're not necessarily trying to like hurt people when you give them advice. I feel like you're really good with your words and knowing like what to say to people to where it's like perceived well, but you're also, you know, using your integrity and keeping things honest. And I feel like people really respect that. And I feel like you're somebody who's really well respected by, you know, your peers and the people that are around you, because they know that they're going to get it for real from you. They know that they're going to get that realness. Okay. And then the 7 of Pentacles here. I feel like you've had to learn how to grow things from like nothing. You haven't had it easy for your entire life. Like you've had to learn how to grow things from nothing. So I think that's another one of your talents and gifts. Like rather than being handed help, rather than being handed something where you can start from like, you know, a plant that's already sprouted, you've had to learn how to plant the seed and grow it from nothing. You know, you've had to really learn how to start from ground zero. And I think that also makes you somebody who is really intelligent, somebody who is also a little bit more down to earth and realistic with a lot of stuff. And that is also one of your gifts, is being, you know, really intelligent with that. But I think one of the things that you're learning also is how to think bigger. That is one of the things that I think that you're learning in your life, how to think bigger. Because you've come a long way from where you've started, and you can grow that more. You can expand that more, right? And so I think that's one of the things that you are learning, is how to expand even more in your life, because you have that ability. The fact that you've already started from, you know, and taken things from nothing and made them into something, you could take the something now and make that into something more. And I think that's something that you're also learning how to do right now, is how to change it to even more, how to make it even better. So I think that's one of the things that you're currently figuring out right now in your life. Let's see what else we get for my beautiful group 2s. Romantic love is coming up, which is super interesting, because right before I pulled that card, for some reason I was really focused on the rose quartz in your pile, and that was making me feel self-love. You have a lot of love to give, but I think I'm honestly getting this feeling like early on in your life, you've had to shut that down quite a few times, whether that be because you went through, you know, harder times early on in life, and at times you've shut that down. You actually have an incredible ability to love, an incredible ability. You have so much love within you, and that is one of, I think, a less tapped into gift that you have. And even if you have tapped into it and you've seen that in yourself, there's more there than I think that you've realized. There's more depth to that love than you've realized, but I think you've had to shut it down a lot, so you haven't been able to like fully go in there and let down those walls completely. But I see that that's something that's happening in your life. And oh my goodness, let me tell you, you are a very loving person. And that is also one of your gifts, is that you are so incredibly loving, and people would be so freaking lucky to get to have you in their life and get to see the depth of that. And I think as you begin kind of trusting more, that's going to open up even more in your life. So even if you've opened it up quite a bit so far, I believe for all of you, there's like more there to explore. Okay, we also have reverence. So you're somebody who calls respect wherever you go. You're somebody you're very respectful, and you also walk into areas almost with the energy of a lot of respect for yourself, and people naturally respect you. I think a lot of people get intimidated by you, in fact. So you may be wondering, like, why don't people just open up to me right away and feel like super good? And I think it's because you have a bit of like an intimidating energy, but in a good way, because it's like a lot of respect for yourself. People don't want to mess with you because they know that you're not somebody to be toyed with. So it's actually a positive in that. But you're so loving is the thing. You're so freaking loving. And as people get to know you, they really see that loving side, and they're just like, my goodness, they feel so special having you in their life. And we also have fortune. One of your other talents, my love, is to be able to grow a fortune. Your experience in life, your intelligence, you have the intelligence to grow things from nothing. You have the intelligence of being able to be like a business owner and being able to like learn on the spot, to know how to like create a fortune. I think that you're really good at learning. You are really good at figuring stuff out. You're really good at figuring what's broken, what needs to be changed in order for something to work. So I think that you'd be naturally very good at like growing a business. Maybe that's something that you've already done in your life. I don't know. But like naturally, I think you're really good at that. And naturally, I think that you're somebody who will create a lot of fortune in their life because that's something naturally that you have a gift for. You have a gift for that. I also think that you have a gift for seeing fortune in things that most people don't, and I think it's because you've been in ground zero, so you have a natural like gift for seeing the value in a lot of things that people don't see value in. Like, yeah, you're the type of person that I feel like some people would like throw out old furniture and you'd be like, that's great, we could literally just like shave it down, repaint it, put on new knobs, this is gonna be great. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen those things on like TikTok or other things where they like revamp old things. I feel like you're really good at that kind of stuff, like things in that realm where you're really good at seeing value in things that a lot of people don't see value in, which actually puts you at a huge advantage because you're able to really tap into like a market and tap into an area that a lot of people don't even see. So I feel like that would also bring you a lot of success in your life. And I feel like that's also where a lot of your value and fortune comes from, because you're really able to see value in things that I feel like most people would just pass by. And that opens up a whole new realm for you. So let's go and see what else we get for my beautiful group twos. We have energy. I feel like you're really good as well at bringing about energy when you need it. You're really good at creating drive when most people would kind of break down. And I think it's because you're really good at being able to focus more logically a lot of the times. You're able to really kind of create energy and motivation where some people would break down emotionally for certain stuff. You're really good at not doing that. You're really good at like, if you have something that needs to get done, you're the type of person that's like, all right, let's go do it. Let's go do it. Like, even if something crazy happened, you're really good at putting off your feelings in order to get stuff done that needs to get done. Like, you're much more serious in that aspect. And I think that's one of your biggest blessings, is that seriousness that you have. Let's go ahead and see what else we get for you. This card's really feeling like it wants to come out. Destiny, ooh. You have a big purpose this lifetime. You came here with a big purpose. Even if you do not feel that, your purpose is bigger than you know. There's times where I feel like you might be feeling like, oh, I'm just making a small impact, I can never make a big impact. It actually sends ripples out and makes a big impact, bigger than you know. And I feel like a lot of you, the impact that you have on like people's lives that are around you is actually really beautiful. I think it's something that like you really transform people, you humble people, you make them see the value in honesty. You're much more like real. You show up as you are, who you are, and you do not shift that. And I feel like that's something that really transforms people. It's like a huge breath of fresh air, for one thing. And like what you see is what you get. You're that type of person. You don't have no hidden motives, no things like that. Like, you're really good at showing that value to other people, like the value in what you see is what you get. Like, I'm not just going to randomly change on you. I feel like you're a very loyal person. When it comes to the people that you are really connected to, you are very loyal for them, and you're a fighter, you're a warrior. I'm getting tons of fighter warrior energy from you. But then also this deep loving side that you can tap into so much more, group 2. And I keep hearing this thing of don't fear tapping into that more. You are such a warrior, group number 2. And a thing that I keep hearing from one of your spirit guides, I think that this is a male spirit guide. He's like a young, like 20-year-old male spirit guide that I feel like has been really connected to you in your past lives. He's coming through right now, and he's like, you are such a warrior. Do not fear opening up your heart. Like, you are such a warrior in so many aspects of your life. Why would you fear tapping more into your emotional side? That's an untapped into gift. There's so much more to tap into there. There's a fortune to tap into there. And oh my goodness, if you balance those two things, ooh, you're going to be unstoppable, my love. You are going to be unstoppable. And I keep hearing, do not hold yourself back. There's fears and anxiety with opening yourself up, and you tend to shut it down with logic, with reason. But oh my goodness, if you could balance those two things, wow, will you ever become unstoppable? Because you're going to open up that creative side, that very loving side, and it's going to offer a whole, like, that's the energy behind stuff, right? We can't just have the material world, the logical, the stagnant. We need to have the flow of the emotion within it too for it to come to life, right? So my goodness, is your life ever going to blossom as you begin to open up more of your heart and wear it more on your sleeve? Like, ooh, my goodness, that is an untapped into side that I feel like is really like, it's just waiting there to add more sparkle to your life. Like, whew. If I could show you what I'm feeling right now, like, if you want to see the absolute beauty in life, which I know that you see beauty in life right now, but there is more there. There is more. And as you begin to tap into that more, as you begin to let it out, yes, I feel like as you begin to tap into it more, there's probably some emotions that we're going to need to kind of face. But instead of shutting down, if we face them, if we allow them to come up, we allow ourselves to feel them, they'll begin to heal. And as they begin to heal, ooh, my love, you're going to become so much more balanced. Your relationships will improve greatly. Your life experience is going to be so much more fulfilling. Ooh, I wish I could show you what I'm feeling right now, but I feel like you're kind of almost feeling it too. So I'm just going to leave it at that. There is much more there. You could blossom like a flower, my love, and there's so much more there. We also have the creator. You are a natural creator. The worlds that you could create as you tap in more to your emotional side is going to be wild, to say the least. It is going to be wild. I also see you tapping into a huge more wealth of fortune as you begin to heal your emotional side and begin to open it up more. As you do that, which I feel like is part of your destiny to do that, do I ever see, like, it's almost like you're going to tap into your destiny when you do that. You're going to tap into your ultimate destiny. And the amount of abundance that you will tap into by doing that, by tapping into your emotions and therefore your destiny, you're going to realize a bigger purpose for you. Your life will transform. Yeah. I don't know. So that was a big side tangent. I hope that's making sense. But anyway, moving on, we have sacred destruction. You are really good at knowing when certain things need out of your life, and you're really good at moving on. You're really good at moving on from stuff. You've had to learn how to move on from things. And that is one of your gifts, to be able to see like, you know, oh, that's not working for me anymore. I need to move on from that. You're really good at having that ability to do that. You don't hang on to things that are no longer serving you. You move on from them. And that's a major talent that you have. And we also have movement. So yes, you're really good at moving on from things that no longer work for you. I'm seeing for a lot of you, there is this, there's a spiritual side that's being activated in you. And I feel like it's happening as of late. It's very recent. Even if you've been spiritual, you know, for years before this, which I feel like most of you are kind of almost just getting into it right now, but if you've been spiritual for even longer than this, there's like a new wave that's happening of like a spiritual sort of awakening that's happening for you. Like as you're watching this video, I'm really feeling like there's a new aspect of yourself that's really wanting to like get awakened. And it's happening through more of a spiritual, I'm seeing that some of you are gonna go down more of a spiritual path. It's gonna be unique to you though. And it's going to offer a lot of healing for you. More of your gifts are going to be awakened through that. Gifts that you didn't even see in yourself. Ooh, and it's deep too. You have such a divine purpose. Ooh. Spirit is like, you know what, don't even go too far into it, because you're going to discover it. And it is so connected to, it is ultimately, it is connected to you tapping into your emotions and healing your emotions and being able to open up again, to open up your heart. It is going to come through that. You are going to be in more of alignment when you begin doing that. It is going to be like a rebirth for you. I don't know, I'm just seeing tons of amazingness coming into your life after that. Yes, it's hard to kind of go back into our emotions and sort of heal stuff, but ooh, am I ever seeing like the most beautiful transformations as you do that. No, it's not a fun time to go tap into old emotions, but sometimes it is necessary for our growth, right? And I'm just seeing a lot of goodness coming through that. So anyway, back to the reading. We're also going to shuffle these cards right here. And then we're going to get into some astro dice to end off the reading. Let's see, any last info for group 2? Surprises. Under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. I feel like a lot of you that are watching this, group number 2, a lot of the times you feel like a regular, ordinary person. And you're like, no, I don't have a special destiny, I don't have a special purpose. And some of you may be feeling like that. You may feel like, you know, like even though a special purpose sounds really nice, a lot of you feel like, I'm just an ordinary person, that could never happen to me. There is a freaking surprise waiting for you. And that surprise will get awakened as you heal, because your surprise is the fact that you are so much more. That is one of your hidden gifts. One of your hidden gifts is literally like you have a hidden like purpose in yourself. And it's not actually hidden because you can tap into it at any moment, but it requires you getting more back in touch with your emotional side. So even under the most ordinary stone, if you feel like that ordinary stone, there is an undisturbed garden waiting in there. There is like, you are so much more than what you see, group number 2, and I feel like you really need to hear that right now. Self-love is going to heal you so much. As you go through more self-love in your lifetime, it is going to heal you more than you know. I'm seeing this healer, this romantic side coming out of you. You're going to get in touch with the sweetness of life. The sweetness, and it is more sweet than you can imagine. Also, if some of you have a sweet tooth that are watching this, if some of you crave sweets or even salty things, is something that I'm hearing too. But let's start with the sweet thing. If you crave sweets, it is because you're craving more sweetness from life. And let me tell you, there is much more sweetness in life that it has to offer, and it comes through this healing. For those of you that crave a lot of salty stuff, what I'm hearing is because you're not aware of the more sweetness that there is underneath. There is much more there to be uncovered. So I know that's kind of like, okay, like that's, you're just mentioning both of those things, but that, I swear to God, that was like a message that I just heard. So I don't know, take it as it is. That is what I heard. We're also gonna do some astro dice, but I'm gonna restart my camera really quick because it is about to cut out. Okay, let's go ahead and see what else we have. Oop, that one just rolled again. Okay, we have 6th house. So Jupiter in Cancer in the 6th house. Healing, divine purpose, destiny, being of service to others. There is an expansion here. Ooh, some of you are really connected to environment, to healing. The 6th house is about healing. There's a magical aspect to the 6th house though. It deals with the physical body. So some of you, there could be like healing around the physical body, which you are expanding into. Some of you, you are going to become more of a healer towards others. Another one of your hidden talents is that you are very in tune with the environment. You might really like being in nature, and you probably get really recharged being in nature. If you haven't been in nature in a while, go find some nature, because you will understand what I'm saying. You very much connect with nature. I feel like a lot of you connect with animals too, to the point where it's like you can really get along with animals really well. That's another thing I'm hearing from this. But yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of healing energy. And part of your purpose is to tap deeper into your emotions again, because then you're going to be much more balanced, and life is going to be much more balanced for you. So anyway, that is basically what we have here for my group number 2s. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it made sense for you. But yeah, I'm sending you guys so much love. Oh my goodness. You are such a deep lover. Such a deep lover. More than you may realize. But anyway, sending you all my love. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next video. Bye. All right, so my group number 3s, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's get right into it. Okay, group 3, we have a lot of crazy fun cards to get into here. We have the Magician, the 10 of Cups, we have the King of Cups, and then we have the 5 of Pentacles. So let's talk about what all this means. Let's start off with this Magician card, because like, ooh, basically your hidden gifts. You are a master manifester. The Magician is the master manifester. He is resourceful. Rather than needing a ton of resources, he is resourceful. I feel like you'd also be somebody, considering what this card means, I feel like you'd also be somebody who's really good at adapting to situations. And let's say somebody threw you on an island in the middle of nowhere and you had to figure out how to survive. I feel like you're somebody who's really adaptable to that, and you would almost find that like a fun experiment. You'd be like, oh, that's kind of exciting. That sounds fun. Let's do it. Like, I feel like you're somebody who's very much down for a lot of things. You have an optimism about a lot of stuff. Whereas I feel like most people, if they're thrown on an island in the middle of nowhere, they're probably going to be scared and be like, oh my God. I feel like you're really good at handling situations. You're really good at seeing solutions, and you're really good at being resourceful. I'm almost hearing this, or getting this visualization of when it comes to you, you're so adaptable. And when most people would be like freaking out, like, oh my God, like I need food right now. I need this, I need that. I feel like you're very like adaptable, and you know how to like get through stuff really well. You know how to kind of create the scenario you want. You know how to very much be in control of yourself. Even if at times it feels like you don't, you have an incredibly deeper ability for this than the average person. You have a deeper ability to adapt and to be resourceful than the average person. It's also interesting that in this card, we have like the water here and this like campfire, and I was like thinking about like being on an island stranded in the middle of nowhere. You're like really talented at that stuff. Even if you don't realize that you are, I feel like if you were stuck in a scenario like that, you would be handling it mentally, physically, and emotionally a lot better than most people would. And on top of that, again, I feel like you'd almost find it almost exciting and fun. Like, you know how to make fun wherever you go. One thing I think is one of your gifts, you really don't like boredom, but I feel like you don't get bored often because you're really good at finding fun in almost anything. And people really like being around you because you are naturally really good at creating fun. I feel like even if people like, I don't know, literally I'm getting all these examples of being put in scenarios where it's not ideal, and somehow like you know how to be funny, you know how to make yourself laugh, you know how to make yourself have fun. For you, it's like, again, we could drop you off in an island in the middle of nowhere, and you would be playing in the sand and like be playing on the beach and be like, wait, this is actually really fun. You know, like for you, it's like the fun, you know how to create it through anything. And I feel like for a lot of you, you've developed this ability because one of your biggest fears is boredom and not knowing what to do. But I feel like you rarely run into that issue because you are like, you know how to make fun with almost anything. You know how to create games and entertainment and all that kind of stuff from barely anything. And the 10 of Cups is basically talking about your ability to see the positives in even the negative situations. You have an innate ability to do that. And of course, all of us go through ups and downs of life. So even if at times you feel like you're not that way, you have this ability. You have this ability to see the positives in any situation. If somebody asked you right now, like even if you're going through a harder time, and if somebody asked you right now, like, tell me the positives about it, you'd actually be able to come up with positives about that. You're really good at being able to see things that most people don't see, especially when it comes to the positivity that you could take out of almost any situation. So that makes you really unique. And that is one of your gifts that you have, is the ability to do that. And I feel like people find you a really fun person to be around. You can almost, like, if somebody comes up to you and they're just having a rainy, shitty day and they are just in a bad mood, you are really good at changing around their mood. You're really good at making people laugh and making people have fun again. For you, that kind of stuff doesn't bother you. You are not bothered when other people are going through a hard time. You're not like, oh no. Like for you, it's like you almost, it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't alter your mood. You don't get brought down by other people's sorrows. You're able to connect with them, yes. You're able to understand them, yes. I feel like you're really good at being empathic and being able to relate to people, but at the same time, you're so good at pulling people out of that. You are so good at making people have fun. I really feel like your friends also see you that way, and they know that if they have an issue and if they, you know, come and see you and come and hang out with you, they know that they're gonna have a good time. You're not somebody who's like, oh, our plans are gonna be soiled because this person's having a bad day. That doesn't bother you. You're like, oh, they're having a bad day? Oh, let's invite them in. Let's change around their mood. For you, you don't see issues with that. It does not bog you down. I feel like you don't really get affected by other people's emotions like other people would. There's a lot of people, and I'm saying people a lot, but there's a lot of people that, let's say if they had a friend over and that friend was going through a hard time but they didn't know, and they're like, oh, come over, have dinner tonight. And then the friend comes over and they're just like, I'm going through a really shitty time. You know, a lot of people would all of a sudden be like, oh no, oh, let's sit in sorrow. Let's like, and then they're probably going to be thinking like, shit, that was really heavy. That was a lot to deal with. That was so heavy on me. A lot of people feel that. They feel the heaviness and they get weighed down by other people's stuff. And then they, you know, that person goes home and they're all of a sudden sitting there feeling heavy, like, oh, that person just drained all their ish on me. I feel like that doesn't happen to you very often. If somebody came over with their issues and then, you know, you help them through that, you wouldn't really feel weighed down after. You would be like, you'd be down to be like, oh my God, let's like, talk to me about it. Talk to me about what you're going through. And then you're, again, really good at changing around their mood. And I know I keep repeating myself here, but I just keep seeing scenario on scenario on scenario about this situation. So for some reason, I feel like I'm supposed to repeat it. So anyway, moving on, you're really good at making the rainbow in the rain. And that is exactly what the Ten of Cups is. The Ten of Cups, rainbows appear right after the rain, right? Rainbows only appear when there is some sort of moisture and rain in the sky. And you are that rainbow. You are literally the rainbow. The way that I could describe you, if I could give you a name, it is the Magician Rainbow. That is you, group 3. You are the Magician Rainbow. You know how to make the sun shine again after the rain. You are so good at that. You are so good at transforming your mood and other people's moods. And there's an interesting thing that I feel like you have a gift for. You have a gift for seeing the gift in negativity. So that is one of your gifts, is to perceive the gift and to see the miracle in negativity. You're a very emotionally well-balanced person to be around. It's people feel so good when they're around you. We also have this King of Cups. You are the master of your emotions. I feel like you're somebody who's really mastered your emotions. And even if you feel like you haven't at this point in your life, you are going to be somebody who very much masters their emotions this lifetime, to the point where it's like you are just good no matter what. You're just like, you are good to go. And it's because you're so adaptable. You are so adaptable. And you're also a natural born leader. The Magician is a natural born leader. You're really good at being independent. You're really good at also being around people. You're just good. Like, you're good. You have a talent and a gift for just being good wherever you are. You're like, good here, good there, you know? And it's not to say that you don't ever go through hardship. So I don't want you to take it that way, because you might be like, but I do go through hardship. Everybody does. But you have such a different way of dealing with it than most people, to where it's not as long drawn than most people. And yeah, I feel like it's very rare for you to go deep into hardship. And even if you have been there, even if you have gone there, there's been a lot of blessings that's come out of that, because you're very good at seeing that. And yeah, that's one of your gifts. That is one of your gifts, okay? The sailboat is like, we're really good at moving on. We're also really good at sailing through any type of water, whether that be rough, anything in between. And you're also really good at reading people's emotions. King of Cups is like very empathic and very good at interpreting people and all of that. The Five of Pentacles is, I believe, you are really good at being independent. You're also really good at handling your own emotions, and really good at, it's almost like you don't necessarily need tons of support when you're going through something. You don't need to like talk to everybody and tell everybody and get support from everybody. You're really good at being very independent when it comes to your emotions. And you're also really good at dealing with, again, hardship, because the Five of Pentacles is hardship, when we lose out on a lot. You're really good at that. I feel like you also don't need a lot. You might like things, because the Magician likes things. He likes accumulating stuff and being like, ooh, look at this. But at the same time, you're so resourceful. Like, if I could pick anybody that would be like the master at being put into a crazy situation and dealing with it really well, that would be you. Like, you're really good at that. Not saying that you enjoy being in those situations, but you're really good at them, to say the least. You're really good at them, and adapting to them, and, just figuring it out. You are incredibly good at that. And also that has made you a master manifester, because a huge thing with manifestation is being in control of your emotions. If we allow our emotions to constantly feel like they're weighing on us, our ability to manifest dwindles a lot. For you are, because you're so good at controlling your emotions, you're really, really good at manifesting, because you're really good at staying on top of like, this is my vibration, this is my frequency, and you're really good at rising up. You are so good at that. You are really good at moving on from situations, okay? I also feel like there's been times where you've had to go through hardship with this Five of Pentacles. There's been times you've had to go through stuff But I feel like people, when they see you, they would never imagine that you've gone through that because you're the magician. People see you as the magician. People almost see that life is easy for you because that's how you kind of almost portray it a little bit. And it's not a bad thing. So don't take this as a bad thing because it's actually a really good thing. People don't see that in you, which is good because why would you want to show that you've been through hardship? You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that you want necessarily to constantly put out that energy like, oh, woe is me, I've been through hardship, right? You kind of come across with this energy of like everything's good, and people almost, the only downside to that is when people see you, they almost feel like you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. They almost feel like everything just comes to you so easily and you're like, no, I've definitely had to work for it. But you're not somebody to linger on problems. You are not somebody to linger on your struggles and on your hardship because that's just not part of your persona. You're somebody that's like, let's linger on the happiness and let's create more of that. Let's linger on the smiles. Let's create more smiles. Let's not like relate to each other in victimhood. Let's not relate to each other in our struggles because, you know, while that's relatable, it's not good to stay stuck in that energy. And I think that you are very aware of that. But again, because of that, people sometimes do perceive you a little bit as like, you are just lucky and everything is so easy for you. But it's like, no, you definitely have some struggles to share if people asked you about it. Like, my goodness. And I feel like when people do find out about your struggles, they're genuinely really shocked because they're like, really? Are you sure you've been through that? Like, why'd you come out so okay? Why did you come out so good? Like, how did you go through that? But yet you're still looking at life like a positive, you know, flower. People, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think it's because, again, you're so good at dealing with stuff and you're so good at moving on from it. And that's one of your biggest talents because that's what you really need in order to be successful. You're not going to be successful when you keep lingering on your struggles. It's going to be really hard to move forward. You are so good at moving forward. You are so good at it. And it's because you're really good at moving on from stuff. You're really good at also seeing the positives in it. And when you're really good at that, things are going to feel easier for you. So let's go ahead and see what else we get on your group. So group 3, what else do we have for my beautiful group 3s? Communication. So you're also really good at expressing yourself. We also have master number 22 right here, which is also about connecting to other people. I feel like you're really good at communicating your thoughts, which really help people see a new perspective. I'm also getting that you could be like, those of you group number 3s, you're like the philosophers of life. You are definitely like the philosophers of life. I think philosophy might be something that really intrigues you. Perspective is something that really intrigues you. You're really good at communicating and showing people your perspective, and people find it very fun to see. And look at, we have those rainbows again. We have the rainbows on our eyes. We have the rainbow over here. You are literally the magician, the rainbow magician. That is you. You're so good at like bringing the rainbow. You're almost reminding me of like SpongeBob when he's like constantly going imagination, like with the hands. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but that's kind of reminding me of your energy. Like you're like that SpongeBob sort of energy where he is good no matter what. Like the craziest stuff could be going down and he's like, let's do it. Let's figure it out. Like, you know, and he's like, Plankton could be like, you know, completely invading the Krusty Krab, stealing the secret formula. And SpongeBob is like, let's figure it out. Let's do it. I am now a warrior. You know, like you are like that. You remind me a little bit of a cartoon because when you go through struggles, like you're not dealing with it like most people would. Like most people would be like Squidward and be like, this is crazy. Get me out of here. But yeah, no, you're like that, like a cartoon character that's constantly like really positive, and you're really good at sharing that perspective and helping other people see that perspective. Some people might find you a little bit unrealistic. I think you're also a really big dreamer and people find it unrealistic. But it's one of your gifts. Like, why would you not want to be that way? Why would you not want to be this way? You know what I mean? Like, this is so positive and it's one of your gifts. Although again, some people might perceive you a little bit as unrealistic because of it. I also think you have a really big imagination, really big creativity. You might be very into fantasy. For you, fantasy exists in this world because that's your perspective. That's how you see it. People really enjoy being around you because you really help them see like a whole new world. Don't let go of this gift. This is one of your most beautiful gifts. Don't let people take that away from you, okay? Even if they're telling you, oh, you're unrealistic. No, you've gotten this far in life already, so clearly it is realistic. It's just not a lot of people can see things the way that you do, although when you do communicate it, people tend to start seeing it. People tend to start seeing what that is. It says iris, and that's reminding me of the eye, like the iris in the eye. You're really good at communicating your sight, your perception, your perspective. And you're actually so wise, but you come across like a little kid sometimes. Like your personality, some people might perceive you as a little kid because of the way that you kind of handle problems, the way you handle situations. It's kind of like you handle it in more of a fun way, which comes across as a kid. But it's interesting because the most wise people on this planet let out their inner child again, because that's actually the best way to go through life, right? When we go through life, when we become so intelligent to the point where our logic takes over and we end up kind of becoming like negative and pessimistic, the real wisdom comes through and we're able to become so intelligent that we move beyond that to the point where we're little kids again. It's weird, it comes full circle. You are incredibly intelligent, and people notice that once they communicate with you. Once they really start to talk to you, they're like, whoa, that person is like really smart. I was not expecting that. Because again, you come across very happy-go-lucky. You come across kind of like that SpongeBob energy where you know, it can be taken almost like a little kid, but at the same time, it's like you're so smart, and that's why you are the way you are. You're incredibly smart, and I feel like you really shock people when people start to talk to you. So that's a really cool thing. That's a good thing, okay? So please take that as a good thing. Let's go ahead and see what else we have. What else do we have for my group threes? We keep having like 10 cards that want to come out. Let's see. This one I'm feeling illusion. That is the fantasy sort of energy that we were talking about, where you are really good with your imagination. Some people might perceive you as living in an illusion, but it's not. It is so not. The thing is, any perspective is correct on the world if that's the way you see it. Like, it is a very correct perspective. But some people just don't understand it because they're used to viewing the world in a negative way. But for you, it's one of your gifts. It is one of your, it is your purpose to be this way. It is your gift to be this way, because you sprinkle rainbows on the planet. That is what you do. You sprinkle rainbows on the planet, okay? So even though, you know what's interesting is one thing that I'm seeing, some of you are gonna start working on big things at a young age because you're a dreamer, you're also very intelligent, you're gonna start working on things at a big age. One of your biggest limiting beliefs is gonna come through feeling like you are not old enough to do certain things, and to also feel like you are not wise enough to do certain things. The reason why you feel that, I think, is because a lot of people, you can feel the way that they perceive you, and you can feel that they almost perceive you as a young, sort of like naive person. But the odd thing is like you're very intelligent. Just your way of perspective is always happy-go-lucky, which don't ever get rid of that, because hold on to that. That's such a good thing to have. But I think one of your biggest struggles will be how can I get them to take me seriously? People will take you seriously as you communicate, because people will be like, kind of like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. Like, damn, this person's really smart. But I feel like when they first kind of like see you, they get a young energy from you. But that's a good thing. That is such a good thing. So don't lose that, okay? Don't lose that. That is such a beautiful freaking gift. And if other people don't see your intelligence right away, that's on them, right? That's not on you. And you shouldn't have to prove that. But at the same time, like, I think you really surprise people. You really surprise people. Let's go ahead and see what else we get here. We have communion. For you, The friends who are really close to you are really important. You also have a natural ability for people to really like you. And connections are going to be really important for you, like networking. Connections are somehow going to be really important for you. That's a total side message. But like in your life, connections are going to be very important to you. Your community is going to be very important to you. The friends, the people that you surround yourself by are going to be very important. Another thing that I'm seeing, like one of your gifts is the ability to bring people together. The ability to create really close, really beautiful friendships. People, when they get to know you, they love having you in their life, and they're very proud to have you as a friend. The people that you are friends with are very proud to call you a friend. Okay? So yeah, that's another thing that we have there. Let's see what else we get for my group 3s. What else do we have for group 3? Trust. One of your abilities, one of your good abilities is to make people really trust you. Like I think you're a very trustworthy person. You are very honest. You've had to learn honesty in your lifetime. And through that way of learning it, like you've learned that the most positive thing is honesty. At the end of the day, I feel like that's something that you've learned, and one of your gifts is to be honest, but to be honest in a very like positive way. You're very positive with your honesty, and it's not like it's fake. It's not like you're sugarcoating stuff. You're just naturally that way. You're like a positive, honest person. Let's see what else we get for you. Group 3. What else do we have for my group 3s? So we have confidence, joy. So the confidence card, a lot of you come across very confidently, even when you don't feel it. You come across very confidently to people because, again, you have this confidence in adversity. You have a sense of confidence, like, oh, I can deal with that. Like, oh, that's fine. Like, oh, you can put up with a lot. You can put up with a lot. But one of the things that you have to kind of be careful of is the fact that you can put up with a lot. Because do you deserve to have to put up with a lot? No. Knowing when to walk away from negative scenarios will help you a lot in your life, because you tend to have a confidence of like, I can deal with it. Like I can do this. Like I have enough energy. But it's like, do we really want to spend our energy on certain things, right? That's going to be a big thing that I think you have to kind of figure out in your lifetime is, sure, you could put up with it, but do you want to? Is it worth it, right? Like you can endure a lot. Your endurance is peak. You have peak endurance. And that is one of your gifts. But use it wisely. Use it wisely. Like, are there things that are worth enduring? Yes. Are there things that are not worth enduring and wasting our energy on? Yes, there are things that are not worth it. So figuring out and being able to decipher that will be one of your greatest gifts. And I think that that's something you're going to have to learn in your lifetime, whether that comes to relationships or a career, and kind of like knowing when to say no and knowing when to stop enduring certain stuff. You're really good at seeing the positives in everything, even in negative situations, even in situations that might be freaking crippling you. You are so good at staying positive and just enduring it. You're so good at that. But that's one of the things that I think you need to look out for as well in your life, is you're so good at doing that to the point where it could be a detriment, and you may have to figure out like, I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be enduring certain stuff because it's not worth it to your health and to your overall well-being and to your physicality, to your mentality. Like you're really good at not letting things affect you. Therefore, you're good at enduring them. But is it worth it? Okay, that's a big question that you're gonna have to remember to ask yourself during certain situations and scenarios. Okay, we have joy. So one of your natural gifts is to be able to perceive and find joy in basically anything. And then we also have magical powers. One of your deepest, most amazing, powerful skills and gifts, we literally have the Magician, which is about magic, and then the Magical Powers card that is about magic. Some of you may even be drawn to magic. One of the things I'm seeing though in your magic is the phoenix rising through the ashes. Getting burned does not stop you. Going through hardship does not stop you, and that is one of your freaking gifts. And that is one of the gifts that I think that you are here for, is to show others how to be that way. Other people may get stopped from burning down. You do not. Your endurance, very freaking high. In fact, you become a phoenix when you go through certain things. And you're going to notice a certain pattern in your life, group 3. And this pattern, please listen to this. You have a pattern in your life that is going to awaken your magical powers. There's going to be certain hard things that you go through. Like, this could either be going through a really manipulative, toxic relationship in your life, or going through something really hard that almost feels like it should have burned you down. But it didn't. It literally made you stronger. You are going to go through something like that in your lifetime. And it's because of your endurance. This is bringing out the awareness of your endurance in your life. Because yes, you are somebody who can endure a lot. You've probably had a childhood where you're just, happy-go-lucky all the time, and you've endured things, and it showed you that you're very capable, which you are. But where do you want to use that capability, right? Do you want to use it on a toxic relationship that you're like, oh, I could put up with that forever because I have a lot of endurance? Sure, you could, but do you want to? Do you want that to be your life, right? So that is going to be one of the things that I think is going to be a major lesson that you need to go through in your life. I'm also going to restart my camera really quick because it's about to cut out, and this is a really important message, so hang on a second. So one of the beautiful things that you're going to go through, and some of you have probably already been through it, okay? So you're just going to be like, oh yeah, I've already been through that. I know exactly what that was. Some of you may still be about to go through it. But there is going to be something in your life that is going to help you see your magic. And it is going to be something along the lines of the story of the phoenix rising through the ashes, okay? This is going to be something where most people would feel torn down by it. This is when your magic is going to be awakened. This is where your gifts come alive. It is going to build your confidence more than anything. You are going to realize who you really are and what your real purpose is through this scenario. And some of you, you're like, oh, I've already been through that. I know exactly what that was. You have magical ability, okay? And I don't say this often, but the fact that we have the Magician coming up for you, and we have the Magical Powers card coming up for you, and you guys picked Chara White, okay? That is a magical crystal right there. You have, you came here with very special gifts this lifetime, group 3. You are meant to help people transform, and you are meant to help people in their ash period, okay? So you might end up working in a job or doing something to help people transform or have a rebirth. You are really, really good at making people rise up from the ashes because you've done that. And that is your magical ability, is to help people do that. That is going to be a huge part of your purpose. And you could play that out in many ways. You could play that out in creativity. You could have a career around that with, helping people in all sorts of different ways. That could take all sorts of different forms. But this is you. That is your magic. That is your gift. Your gift is this. So if anybody tries to make you feel bad for being that happy-go-lucky person, that is literally your strongest freaking gift that you could have ever had. So don't ever feel bad for that. Don't ever feel like, oh shit, like why do people never take me seriously? This sucks. How can I make them take me seriously? Don't hide this gift to live a life of seriousness. You are meant to live a life of like fun, rainbow, magician energy. Okay, you are intelligent, and you are intelligent for being that way. Just because it's not everybody's way, don't ever feel the need to repress that. That is a message that I have for you. Don't ever feel the need to repress that. It is such a beautiful part of you. Okay, and it is connected so deeply to your purpose, is to help people rise from their ashes, rise from the ashes of going through something. So that is such a beautiful gift that you have, okay? Let's go ahead and see what else we have. I know that was kind of like an intense little speech there, but let's go into our next cards for my beautiful group 3s. I also just want to say, interestingly enough, the number 3 to me is very magical. And I'm not really sure why I feel that way, because number 3s numerologically don't necessarily deal with like magic or anything, but for some reason, group 3 in my readings is always like this more magical, not all the time. Sometimes it's like group 1, group whatever. But a lot of the times I notice it's correlated to group 3 and the color purple. So I don't know if you guys like the color purple, or if it's like something that you see a lot in your life, or maybe 3s or something that you see a lot in your life. But that's a reminder of your fun and your magic, okay? I just want to say that. It's a reminder of your fun and your magic. So let's go ahead and see what else we get for my group 3s. I'm really feeling these 2 cards. Compassion and the universe. You have a beautiful ability to be compassionate for everybody. You also have the ability to love everybody. I think that you are one of those people that genuinely sees goodness in everybody. Like, you have that ability, and some people might feel like that's fake of you. Some people might feel like that's like I don't know how you see love in everybody, but you genuinely do. You could genuinely look at anybody and be like, oh, I have so much compassion and love for them, even if you've never like talked to them before. Like, I feel like you're genuinely that just type of person. You have a lot of compassion for people, and I feel like you rarely ever judge people. Sure, all of us, like, it's human nature to judge, but at the same time, I feel like you're somebody who doesn't do that very often. Like, you're able to really be compassionate, and even if you do judge people, it's kind of like you also have that other side of you that's like, oh, but you know what? They're great. They're doing their best. Like, you have such a ability to do that. And we also have that universe card. And you're really good at, again, this is manifesting. The strings that she has on the world, you're really good at manifesting. You're really good at creating the reality that you like to live, because you're really good at controlling your own perspective and your own emotions. And that is your ability to experience life, is your emotions. Because you could have somebody that is, you know, super rich, they have all the money in the world, and they are sad and depressed. But then you can also have somebody that is living on the side of the road in a cardboard box, and they just smile all day, and they're just like, life is good. And then it starts raining, and they're like, that's beautiful. You know, it is your perspective that creates your life experience. It is not what you own. It is not what you have. It is not necessarily the experiences that you've even created. The experiences that you create are from your perception and your emotion. If you're in control of your perception and your emotion, every day can be amazing. Any situation can have its gifts and its beauty. All of it can have that. You know, even the harder things in life can have their beauty, because the fact that we can even have that emotion for those harder things is so freaking beautiful, right? So your perspective is everything, and I really feel like you're creating such a good life with your perspective, because you're in more control of it, and that's going to be a gift that you end up bestowing on others by talking to them, by communicating your perspective. That's going to be something that you are able to transform a lot of the world through your perspective. Like, that is why you guys are the philosophers. That's why I'm calling you guys the philosophers and the rainbow magicians, because I feel like that's really like part of your divine purpose here. I know I'm like going off on this reading. This reading is about to be like 40 minutes long or something, but like here we are. We're also going to shuffle these cards to see what else we have for you. So we have caution, tread softly so as not to disturb the woodland floor. I feel like you're somebody who's very aware of your surroundings. Another one of your gifts is being very aware of other people, how they might react. Like, you're really good at that. So you are, even though you're really happy-go-lucky and not a lot of people would label you as cautious, I feel like the caution card is more talking about your awareness. You have a lot of awareness about how people are affected by things. Even though maybe not a lot of people see that within you, I feel like you have a very aware awareness, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. We have learn, take a lesson from the owls, deeply observe the night, and you'll become a little wiser in the day. You are really good at reflecting. You're really good at learning, especially through reflection of your own experience. You're really good at that. Okay, and then the fact that we have 2 joy cards, I freaking love it. You are literally that joy, like, butterfly that just goes around sprinkling fairy dust on everything. So spread seeds of joy like a wildflower, and no doubt you will revel in the result. That is your gift. That is your gift. So continue being that way, okay? Because it's amazing. You offer such goodness to the world. So anyway, now we're gonna roll these Astro dice to get any last info. Let's see. So we have Venus, not surprised, we have Venus coming up for you, in Gemini in the 10th house. Your purpose is to sprinkle love and life and perspective and philosophy. Gemini, you're a very curious person. You are meant to experience. Your whole gift in this world is to experience and spread joy and love. That is that Venus. You are here to spread love, spread even like resources and money and helping others. Some of you may even get involved in charity work as you get older. And I'm definitely seeing just like helping people transform and seeing the other side. You help people see another perspective. That is your divine purpose. That is your divine gift. Your gift is to also excel, to create more, to get to new heights. You're a big dreamer. You're able to sort of see how to do bigger things. So it's all up to you and being able to actually like push yourself into that because you're really good at figuring out how to do those things. So hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed this reading, group number 3. I know that was a really long one there. I think that was like a 40-minute reading, but here we are. So anyway, I'm sending you all of my love. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so my group number 4s, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's get right into it. Okay, group 4, my goodness, I am getting like Athena energy. I am getting like earth goddess energy from this pile. Even if you're a guy, maybe like earth god energy, more like Mars warrior kind of energy rather than Athena. But like whether you're male or female, this is like warrior energy that I'm getting from this group, and a very powerful energy at that, especially with this Tower card. We have the Tower, the Queen of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, and then the 2 of Cups here. You have an incredibly powerful energy, but accumulating it may be a different story. But oh my goodness, you have like very powerful like warrior kind of energy, and you're also really connected to nature. The interesting thing about the Queen of Pentacles and the Tower is that it can be a different story to like get yourself moving, but once you're moving, it is unstoppable. If you are determined for something, your gift is you will destroy any obstacle in your way. You have a gift for that, you know? Whereas most people kind of see, they see an obstacle and it's just like, ooh, can I get through that? I don't know. Could I find a way around it? You're just like, if you are determined, oh my God, are you ever unstoppable? But the thing is becoming unstoppable, because some of you may be Tauruses, or Capricorns even, maybe even Virgos, some other fixed energies such as like Leo or Aquarius. For some reason, Taurus and Capricorn are really sticking out to me though. Even if you're not, this reading is still relevant. But an interesting thing that I'm seeing for you, when we take into account the energy of like Taurian energy, and I'm definitely feeling you have some sort of Taurus in you, maybe second house energy, something like that. But if you think about Taurus the bull, if you think about a bull, to get a bull moving, kind of difficult. Like if that bull wants to stay stuck there, and if they're laying down, you could push that bull all you want. It is not going to move an inch at all. Like it's really up to them whether or not they want to move an inch or not. So I feel like for you, you have a very, very strong energy. And at times it can be almost like unmovable, and it can almost feel heavy. Your energy can sometimes feel heavy, like it's hard to get things going. It's because you have that bull energy. It's very strong. It's a very strong, powerful freaking energy. But guess what? Once you get a bull moving, are you going to be able to stop that bull? Frick, no. Like, no. You have an unstoppable energy, group number 4. It's very powerful. When you are determined, when you have your eyes set on something, you will destroy anything that is in your way. And that is one of your gifts. Some of you, though, may get a feeling of heaviness sometimes. Like it almost might feel like it's hard to find motivation in certain things, and it's kind of like, how do I get moving on that? Like, how do I find the motivation? But your gift is like, once you have your eyes set on something, again, unstoppable. It is freaking powerful. You will send out your warrior lightning to destroy any obstacle in your way once you have your eyes set on something, once you have your sight set on something. So one of the secrets, one of the keys that I can tell you to getting motivation is to get your eyes set on something, to get your sight set on something. And you literally need to believe that you can get it, because you have a very powerful energy of being able to kind of like do anything and get anything. But it stems from how much are your eyes set on it? How determined are you? Once you can find that determination, you will get through anything. You will find a way. You have this innate ability to find a way. I'm almost hearing Henry Ford, or even like Thomas Edison. Henry Ford is known for being so determined to create, I think it was like the 8-cylinder engine or something, could be getting this wrong. And everyone was like, that doesn't exist. Or maybe it was the 6-cylinder engine versus the 4, something like that. Or maybe 2 to 4, something like that, I don't know. He was trying to create an engine with more cylinders so that it could like go faster and be more powerful. And everyone was like, no, it's impossible to do that because of all these different factors. And he was like, no, we're going to find a way. He was so determined that he was like, I don't take no for an answer. And all these scientists who worked on engines were literally like, your vision is impossible. And they were giving him all these reasons why it was impossible. But he was like, no, there's got to be a way. Like, we have to figure it out. So take whatever's impossible, remove that, and figure out something else to replace it so that it can be possible. You are one of those people. Once you're determined on something, it doesn't matter how many people will tell you that it's impossible. You're like, nope, I'm going for it. And you will find a way. You will break down any obstacle. You have this incredible ability and this incredible gift to be able to do that and to be able to have this unstoppable determination. So I hit my camera. The Queen of Pentacles is also very unstoppable. She has a very powerful energy. She's also really talented at putting her energy into multiple areas and being able to multitask and being able to handle anything. If you need to handle something, group 4, you have the ability to do it, especially when there's like a fire underneath it. So if there's a reason to do something, you will step up and you have this crazy spectrum of energy to be able to do so much. And you probably have noticed this during intense moments of your life. Like, you've probably had some intense moments where you've really needed to step up and do beyond what the normal human is even probably capable of, and you're just like, done it. like you have that ability, you have that gift to really call on a very powerful energy that can accomplish more than the average person. But I think one of your things is figuring out how to call upon that energy, because you have that. You really have that. And it's about focusing on those details and seeing that vision and having an intense reason why. Once you can create that intense reason why, unstoppable, very unstoppable. And I'm hearing the words nature always finds a way. You may notice this in certain aspects of your life, if like nature always finds a way. Even like grass growing through concrete, nature always finds a way. I'm also hearing that correlated to pregnancy for some of you. So some of you, there may be like children or pregnancy in your life where it was a situation like nature always finds a way. I don't know. I just heard that for some reason. That message I don't think is for all of you, but for some of you, if that resonates with you, then that was obviously for you. So yeah, nature always finds a way. I don't know if that's like something you needed to hear for whatever reason, but I don't know. We also have the 5 of Wands here. You are really good at piercing through conflict and not letting it affect you and not letting it completely cripple you or hold you back. You're really good at dealing with conflict, in fact. You are really, really good at it. You're really good at getting your point across. You're really good at figuring stuff out and figuring out solutions and compromises. I feel like that's one of your gifts and talents, especially since we have the 2 of Cups next. You're really good at fighting for what's right, especially when you know what's right. You're really good at not backing down from conflict and not being scared of it, especially when you have a lot of purpose in it. Like, you are really good at facing that. You are really good at dealing with that. You are really good at meeting eye to eye with people. You're really good at helping other people achieve what they want. You are really good at motivating other people. You're really good at connecting with people. People really like being around you because they know that they can trust you and they absolutely feel safe around you. Like, they know that you are going to protect them, that you are going to help them. And in fact, I'm really feeling like there's this gift of you really enjoy helping people, especially those that you're really close with. Yeah, one of your other gifts is to really connect with people and show them their worth. You see a lot of worth in other people. You're really also good at meeting people on their level, whether that's high or low. You're really good at seeing them eye to eye and being on their level. I feel like you've been through a lot of different levels in life, so you're really good at relating to other people. Really good at, again, seeing what they think, meeting them on their level, being able to relate to them, and people really enjoy that about you. So let's go ahead and get some more cards on this group. Let's see. So group 4, what else do we have for group 4? Yeah, I'm definitely seeing really good at dealing with harder situations. Let's see what else we get for you. We have generosity coming up. So you are somebody who is very generous, to say the least. You're a very giving person. You're okay with like giving your energy to other people when they need it, helping them. Yeah, giving them resources when they need that. I almost see you being, like, this energy is reminding me of like a really solid Earth Mother Grandma energy. I don't know if some of you have had a figure like that in your life, but it's very much a part of you because of that, where you're just really one with nature, one with like the earth. I feel like nature really enjoys you. I feel like you're really good at connecting to animals, plants, and nature. Even if you're not, that's one of your hidden abilities that will still be unlocked in the future, but you're really good at that. And there's a very generous, like, old soul energy that you have, that people feel really comfortable around. You make people feel really comfortable and really connected. You're really good at making people feel at home. That is one of your gifts, is making people feel at home, making people feel really cared for. People feel very cared for when they're around you. They know that you have their back. And I feel like there's a loyalty energy that you have, that people really feel off of you. People really enjoy that. It is very loyal. It is very much, I'm going to stick with you till the end. Once you make a friend, that's a friend for life. You're not somebody who kind of jumps between a lot of different people. When you have a long-term friend, that's your person. You will ride or die with them, type of thing. Like, you are really loyal in that aspect, and that is also one of your gifts. We also have Artemis of focus. What was I saying? We have the eye over here above the tower. When you visualize something, when you have your eyes set on something, when you are focused on something, you are going to hit that target no matter what. You are so good at that. When you see what you want, you're really good at going for it. But the key here is figuring out what it is that you want. What do you want to go for? Because then once your eyes are set on it, it's like, that unstoppable now, that kind of energy. We also have radical acceptance. I feel like you're somebody who's also very forgiving. Another one of your gifts is to be very understanding towards other people, very forgiving. You don't hold on to grudges a lot. You'll definitely make your opinion known. You'll definitely make your feelings known. But when it comes to holding on to grudges, I feel like you don't really do that. I also feel like you are really good at dealing with hardship in life. You're really good at accepting it for what it is. Let's see what else we get for you. And I feel like also a lot of your most amazing gifts will come through acceptance of where you are. We also have prosperity. I feel like things just naturally grow around you. Things just grow. Like plants grow. Things prosper when they're around you. People feel good around you. You're going to notice that you make some really deep connections because people feel like they prosper when they're around you. It's also interesting we have double 4s right here. We have the 4 and then the 40, which is also a 4 numerologically. And you're also group number 4. So you make a very solid foundation. You make people feel very safe. You're a very solid, reliable person. One of your gifts is to be very solid and reliable for those that you really trust, those that you really love and see eye to eye with. I also think you're really going to grow into like one of those like older, like really compassionate people. Like we all get old, but once you're older, I'm really seeing this sort of like goddessy, free, kind of like connect with nature kind of like person. That's kind of what I see coming out of you as you get older. Let's see what else we get for you. Also, again, warrior energy. The fact that we have Artemis too, I just want to mention that again. I was getting like some Athena sort of energy, and Artemis is like very much like warrior as well. And then we also have the abundance card. Ooh, I feel like you're someone who's very generous with what you have. Like you're somebody who wants to share it. You want to share your wealth. I feel like if you're somebody where if you get wealthy, you're like, I'm sharing that. I'm sharing that with the people I love. Like you're not somebody who's just gonna keep that to yourself. You're very generous and you're like, I wanna give back to all the people that I love. Like you're very generous in that aspect. You're not somebody who just wants to enjoy riches on your own, because for you, that's not fulfilling. You're somebody who finds the fulfillment through sharing it with other people. That's where you find the most fulfillment and the most happiness. I'm also gonna restart my camera really quick because it's about to die. I've been filming so long that my camera's like, bye. Anyway, so I changed the battery. We are back. Basically, you are somebody who doesn't get fulfilled unless you're sharing your happiness and sharing your experiences and sharing your wealth and abundance with others. It's why we have that 2 of Cups right there, you know, and even the Queen of Pentacles is that way. Prosperity and abundance and generosity. You're so much like that person that's like, I want to share this wealth. You know, if you were given $1 million and you got to like retire and like go on vacations on your own, you like wouldn't feel fulfilled. You would feel fulfilled with being like, you know what? Let's take my best friend, let's take my lover, let's take my family, let's all go and enjoy it. Like that's you. You are so generous in that way to where you're not enjoying it unless the people around you are also enjoying it. That is you. You're very much that type of person. That's one of your gifts. We also have the explorer. I think you're a very curious person. One of your gifts is the ability to enjoy exploring new things, new cultures. I think you're a very cultural type of person. You enjoy different cultures. I also feel like you've had a lot of past lives in different cultures, which is why you like exploring them, because you can almost feel at home anywhere. As long as you're with the people that you really love, because for you, home is like where the heart is, right? Home is like where your heart is. If your heart is with certain people, that's going to be where you feel at home. But I also feel like you enjoy exploring, and you may really also enjoy learning about different cultures, because I feel like you've had a lot of past lives in very different areas of the world. Let's see what else we get for you. You also may feel very connected to like other cultures very naturally. You might be like, oh, that just feels right for me. Oh, that feels really right for me. And I really think you've had a lot of past lives in a lot of different areas. So let's see, we also have paradox coming up. I feel like you're really good at seeing both sides, which makes you connect with people on a very deep level. The paradox is definitely making me feel like you're so able to understand 2 sides of a situation. You're very able to understand why people think the way they do, why people act the way they do, and it makes you connect with other people on a really deep level because you very much understand people. And you may notice that people, even when you first meet them, they tend to open up to you really fast. And you might be wondering, like, why do I always attract people that just feel so comfortable to completely open up to me? And it's because you're really good at seeing eye to eye with people. You are so good at understanding them. People feel understood by you. They don't feel judged by you. Even though you're somebody who will definitely tell people how it is. You'll tell people your perspective, but at the same time, you're really good at telling people your perspective in a really good way, because you also very much understand people and why they do certain things. And so your communication, the way that you come across, is very accepting. You're very accepting of other people. Okay? Radical acceptance. You accept people for the way they are. You will accept people from all walks of life because you're so understanding. You understand that, you know, human nature is human nature. We all make mistakes. You're very good at understanding that. And that's why we have that paradox card coming up. Like, you are so good at seeing the world through all different lenses, through all different eyes. Some people might even think that you're kind of crazy for that. Some people might be like, how do you accept this person after what they did? And you're just like, well, how do you not? Like, they're a person, they're a human. Like, what? For you, it doesn't make sense how people don't understand others and how people can judge so deeply. That's something that I feel like might really, you know, strike a chord with you, because you are very understanding of other people. Okay, we also have Get Wild. You, I feel like, are somebody who will absolutely stand up for those that you really love. You will get wild for them. You will shout at the top of your lungs for the people that you love. You will stand up for them till the end. Like, you are that type of person. The loyalty that you have is incredible. And I feel like you just really love people in general, especially those that you're really close with. So, with that being said, let's also go ahead and take out these cards. And then we're also going to do some astro dice. So group 4, what other magical gifts and abilities do we have for my beautiful group 4s? Ooh, got a lot there. We're going to go with it. So we have the grounded card. I'm definitely feeling like you're grounded, connected to nature type of thing. And I feel like this is what this is basically talking about. So keep your roots and stand taller than the trees. So you're very grounded, you're very realistic and very connected to other people. Like, you feel like people are your roots, they're your home. We also have humility. So you're a very humble person as well. Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. I feel like you don't get intimidated by other people very often. You're just very humble. You know who you are. We also have hope. Like an idea, like a single acorn, can start a wondrous forest. Ooh, you're very good at giving people the right advice, that is for sure. You are very good at giving people the advice that they need to hear. We also have trust. The robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. I feel like you're very wise when it comes to philosophy, and you're also really trusting around others because of the fact that you trust yourself. You know what you're capable of. Therefore, you're not scared to be around others. You're not super cautious. You're a very open person, but it's because you trust yourself very much. We also have cleanse. Wash your weary spirit clean and take a walk in the wooded glades. Ooh, yeah. So again, very connected to nature. I feel like nature really just resets you a lot. And then we also have the card here of retreat. Spoil yourself in the morning mist. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. Yes, again, very connected to nature. I feel like nature is something that really recharges you, and I feel like you're a little bit of an explorer when it comes to nature. Like, you might be somebody who enjoys hiking, going outside, all sorts of things like that. You're somebody who I think whenever you like eat, even at a restaurant, you're like, outside please, like definitely outside, 100% outside. So yes, let's go ahead and roll these dice to get any last info. Okay, we have Jupiter in Aries in the 11th house. You are absolutely an explorer. You are very much about connecting to people. You're very much about humanity. I feel like you could make friends with almost anybody. Like, you are that type of person who has a talent of making friends with literally anybody. And you can make deep connections, I think, very fast. I think you're somebody who is very likable as well. You're likable by a lot of people. And I think that you are somebody who's going to travel a lot as well, because Jupiter in the 11th house is also very much about travel. And it can also indicate that you move to a different country in your lifetime. So some of you may be from a different cultural background, or you may move to a new country or live abroad at some point in your life as well. It's another random side message that I'm getting from that. So anyway, that is basically what we have for you, my beautiful group number 4s. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there, and hopefully I see you in my next video. Bye.